Hello, and welcome to the Santa Rosa Sound Alternate Crossing Study informational video. This video will provide an overview of the study and explain the purpose of the project and the process used to develop, evaluate, and compare potential corridor alternatives. Additional information will be provided at the Corridor Alternatives public meeting that is scheduled for September 20th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Emerald Coast Convention Center. The Santa Rosa Sound Alternate Crossing Study is a high-level planning study that is in the first phase of a multi-phase process. The overall objective of the study is to determine the feasibility and potential location for an alternate road and bridge corridor between Fort Walton Beach and Okaloosa Island. By the end of this study, we want to have gathered enough information to help determine whether or not this project should proceed to a more detailed phase of analysis called a Project Development and Environment Study, or PD&E. The study was initiated in February 2015 and is expected to conclude early next year. Since the public kickoff meeting last April, the Florida Department of Transportation has completed numerous activities, including the evaluation of existing and future traffic patterns, coordination with various stakeholders, and identification of 10 potential corridor alternatives. The primary purpose for considering an alternate corridor is to help reduce congestion along State Road 30 US 98 through downtown Fort Walton Beach. The 2015 FDOT annual average daily traffic counts for US 98 in the study area range from 35,500 vehicles a day on US 98 west of Perry Avenue to 50,500 vehicles a day on the existing Brooks Bridge, indicating that State Road 30 US 98 in this area is failing. The study is currently in the planning phase and is following a process developed by FDOT known as an Alternate Corridor Evaluation, or ACE. The ACE process helps identify reasonable corridor alternatives and is used to evaluate and document potential alternatives that can be carried forward into future phases. And now, let us walk through the steps that have been completed to date. The study area for the project was defined by the Okaloosa-Walton Transportation Planning Organization as part of their long-range transportation planning process. The study area serves as the starting point for identifying potential corridors. The corridor study area was then screened using a weighted system based on the importance of environmental and social features. This process allows the project team the ability to determine the paths of least resistance in which to place alternate corridor crossings of the Santa Rosa Sound. Factors such as land use, parks, historic sites, wetlands, and endangered species are considered. The darker shaded areas represent less desirable locations for a corridor. Due to federal requirements, FDOT also gave consideration to corridors evaluated in past studies. For this study, corridors that were analyzed as part of the Emerald Coast Bridge Authority's 2006 study are included in the analysis. They include the Wright Parkway Corridor, the Brooks Corridor, and the Hollywood Boulevard Corridor. After giving consideration to past studies and following the screening process, 9 preliminary corridors were identified within the study area. For comparison purposes, all corridor alternatives begin at the State Road 30 US 98 and Mary Esther Boulevard intersection. A very important part of the corridor analysis is public input. A stakeholder advisory group was formed at the onset of the study and is comprised of representatives from the community, area businesses, and organizations. Based on input received from this advisory group, a 10th corridor was suggested and added to the list of potential corridor options. Using Alternative 6 as an example, all corridor alternatives assume a 500-foot corridor width for a new bridge crossing and a 200-foot corridor width for segments where existing roads would be utilized. This provides flexibility in future phases in which to place the proposed bridge and road-typical sections. Each of the 10 corridors were then evaluated for environmental impacts, cost, and consistency with the project's purpose and need. The evaluation is ongoing, but the results will be presented at the public meeting on September 20th to allow for public input. The corridor analysis and public input will then be documented in a corridor report that will outline the study recommendations. We are excited to present the results of the Corridor Alternatives Analysis at the public meeting on September 20th at the Emerald Coast Convention Center from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. You will be able to see results of the analysis, a comparison of each corridor, and our preliminary recommendations for further analysis. There will be a video presentation, display boards, and handouts. The project team will also be there to answer any questions. Thank you for watching this informational video. We hope you found it useful in preparing for the upcoming public meeting that will be held on September 20th. If you cannot attend the in-person meeting, please join us at www.santarosacrossing.com for an online version of the meeting that is accessible anywhere, anytime, and will provide the same information as presented at the in-person meeting. The online meeting will be available starting on September 21st. If you would like to review additional information about the project, please also visit www.nwflroads.com.